I want to give you a yarn about something that happened with me years ago, back when I was in full addiction, when I was a full nutcase. I went to the pub to have a bit of a gamble. While I was there, I was actually fighting with the missus, arguing with her, whatever. I was there angry, just playing pokies, as I used to do. But this day I was drinking. Now, I was drinking them short glasses with double JD in them, with only a little bit of Coke. They didn't want to serve them to me, but there was no one else really in the pub. It was on a weekday. I was on my week off for work. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something. There wasn't many people in the pub, so they were serving them to me. Anyway, I got pretty wrecked, and I picked a fight, right? Mate, it is what it is. I fucking picked a fight. Well, I picked a fight, went out into the car park to have a crack with old mate and his three mates. One thing led to another. We ended up saying, nah, fucking, we're not going to fight, whatever. I actually sort of knew the bloke from jail, to tell you the truth. It didn't happen. We ended up shaking hands and fucking, I said, that's my bad, bro. I had a fucking bit of a moment, man. Whatever. Left it, jumped in my car, half tanked as well. This is one of them times when I drunk drive. Jumped in my car, went to another pub because they kicked me out of that pub. They seen what had happened. Anyway, it was always going to happen this way because of the mood that I was in, my paranoid state and all the rest of it. So I just picked a fight at the first pub, near got 3-outed by these boys. Got kicked out, jumped in my car, boom, I went to the pub probably 4 streets over, maybe 2 Ks away. I go into the pub, same sort of thing. I start ordering these little short glasses, double JD, fuck all Coke, bang. I don't know how many I'd have at this time, but I was getting pretty wrecked. And my paranoia was getting real bad too. And I don't know for anyone else, but when I used to drink, my paranoia would set off bad. So anyway, I'm drinking these drinks and I'm playing pokies. Well, these pokies just weren't paying up. And I was like, stuff this, I'm going. Usually I'll sit there and I'll waste every penny I've got on a shit machine or a shit pub just because I couldn't be bothered. But this day I was like, nah, fuck this. I had money still in my pocket and I'm like, nah, I'm going somewhere else. Well, I've walked out of the pub. My car was parked to the left of the car park and to the right was a group of people. I think it was 3 blokes and 1 woman. They were all there having a laugh, doing their own thing, minding their own business, had nothing to do with me whatsoever. But I heard them laughing when I come walking out of the pub. And instantly I thought, these cunts are gigging me. They think I'm a joke because I just lost money on these pokies. Like, just paranoid, thinking they were laughing at me. They didn't fucking know me from a bar of soap. Well, one of the chicks actually did know who I was, but I didn't know these cunts. I'd never met them before. They were just knockabouts from the area, but I'd never had dealings with them. I turned around and I was like, what's that? You're laughing at me? And old mate's like, what? And he sort of stood up and bridged up, and I was like, sweet cunt, bang. And I shut my car door. I walked straight over, bang. I hit the first bloke, ended up knocking him out. Well, old mate behind me, there must have been a security guard, and one of their other mates behind me had just got me in a chokehold from behind and full just choked me out. I think it was a security guard, I don't remember exactly, but while I was getting choked out, the friend was getting into me. So I just got 2 outed, and then old mate that I knocked out jumped up and got into me as well. I remember they let me go. I sort of come to, like, what the fuck just happened? I'm bleeding all out of me nose, out of me mouth and that. And I just remember smiling at them going, I'll be back for you, can't you wait? I jumped in my car, and then I pissed off home. I rang my younger brother and I said, you need to come meet me back at this here pub. Shit's going down. I went home, had a shower, chucked on some fresh shoes, some fresh clothes, but I was getting drunker by the minute. Yeah? Worse, mate. Like, by the time I'd had my shower, told my missus what had happened, rang me brother, man, I was legless. Like, and I can't fight for shit when I'm legless. You know, I can't fight for shit anyway, but when I'm drunk, man, it's hopeless. Anyway, I remember my younger brother said, yeah, I'm at the pub, I'll meet you here. I was like, sweet, bang. Said to the missus, let's go, you got to drive me. Fucking, I'm fucked. Dumb decision. I should have just stayed home. Anyway, no one to mind the kids, so I chucked my kids in the car as well, and we all went to this pub, like proper ghetto shit, mate. And I left that shit in the past long time ago, man. I've never done this shit with my kids before, but this is what them drugs, mate. That's what they do. This is what I'd become. All my kids, piled them up in the car, bang, my missus drove us to the pub. Opened the doors and it was on. Like, these cunts were still waiting there for me to come back, and it was on, mate. As soon as I got out of the car, chairs were getting thrown, tables were getting lifted. Some cunt had a pole. Fucking, I ended up getting a metal bar or fucking whatever I had, and mate, it was on. It was proper a brawl at 2 o'clock on a fucking Tuesday or a Wednesday. Like, what the hell? My car got damaged, caved in, all sorts of shit, man. I ended up getting punched up a bit worse. They were trying to hit me missus with a fucking stick. I remember diving over me missus and I just copped them in the back with a pole. One of them ended up getting knocked clean out, like bad, proper snoring. And that was enough. Like, we pulled up and we're like fucking having a standoff with these cunts. And we'd all agreed that enough's a fucking enough. It's got to stop. The old mate was bad, right? We ended up taking off, fucking whatever. Never heard nothing from it, but it was playing on my mind that I had my kids with me when this shit happened. Do you know what I mean? And I just seen something on the news there the other day where the same sort of thing happened with a family. This is why I'm doing this video, man, because it reminded me of what happened with me when I had my kids present. And I can only imagine these other guys that would have been on drugs and whatnot. And it's just, oh man. It's a shit scenario, right? And I'm not telling this story for any clout or any of that, man. I'm telling you because I'm ashamed. I'm telling you because I'd never really done anything like this before with my kids. Ever. You know what I mean? I'm trying to teach my kids the best way possible, and I'm trying to keep all that shit right away from them. But being on them drugs, I crossed that line. I lost all sense of purpose. I lost all sense of fatherhood and all the good stuff that I stand for because I was on them drugs, man. So nothing really erupted from the brawl. Fucking old mate ended up being sweet, whatever. I never heard nothing from it. But man, it could have ended really badly. I ended up with a sore head, fucking busted up mouth, all because I thought that these guys were laughing at me. The front end of my car got destroyed. Like, it was, mate, my kids were in the car as well. You know what I mean? I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed that I let it get to that level and I'd done that shit in front of me kids. But lucky, my kids have a bit of a sense of humour and they thought it was funny. Oh, Dad, remember when you were drunk and you tripped over and you couldn't even throw a punch and them guys hit you with the stick? That's how they see it. Do you know what I mean? So thank God that it wasn't too serious and it didn't sit with their little brains, man. But oh, mate, them days, I'm glad they're over. Honestly, I'm so glad they're fucking over. And it's so far behind me that it's not funny, man. But it just goes to show that them drugs, mate, that's what it'll do to you. It turns good people into idiots. It makes you do the dumbest shit. And that could have ended really badly that day. Honestly, it really could have. So just think about what you're doing before it gets out of hand. That paranoia shit, that stuff's real. Honestly, it's real. And I was convinced that those guys were laughing at me that day. That's why, mate, I was convinced. I was convinced for a long time that people thought I was the joke, I was the clown, and I was the dickhead in the middle getting the finger pointed at him. Took me a long time to get past all that, and I'm so glad that I'm past it. But I just thought I'd give you that yarn anyway, man, because like I said, I did see something on TikTok the other day where someone got hit in the head with a hammer. He got his head fractured in a pool of blood. There were kids around, all sorts of shit. It was like a family versus family brawl type deal. And I was like, fuck, and that reminds me of what happened that day at the pub. So it is what it is, man. Be very mindful that them drugs, that ice especially, it'll turn you into the devil, man, straight up.